In previous videos, I've talked about my own struggles with orthorexia, which is an unhealthy obsession with healthy eating. I had good intentions, but the execution was off. I'm glad that people want to eat better, but you also have to have the right intentions. I thought I had the right intentions when I decided to eat healthy, but when I look back, I clearly didn't. Had I had that conversation then, I could have saved myself years and years of misery. Today I'm going to review a video by Josh Brett, who also struggled with orthorexia in his teenage years. Why do young people develop these behaviors, and what can we do about it? I'll answer those questions at the end of the video. Remember, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Oftentimes, the motive to eat healthier isn't to become healthy, it's something deeper. So before you decide to eat healthy, really ask yourself why you're doing it. Having crucial conversations like that can save you a lot of time and a lot of misery. And it can save you from a lot of bad behavior in the future. Let's take a look at Josh's video.
I really like the feeling of structure and control that it gave me.
And this is one of the appeals of orthorexia, is that it does provide that structure, that support, that predictability. It gives you some sense of control. And the word control is something that we hear several times in this video. And when I look back at my own personal story, when I was like 20, 21 years old, I didn't have any goals, I didn't have any direction, I didn't have a social network, which is a perfect recipe for this kind of behavior. I said that I wanted to be healthy, and I guess to some extent that was true, but really I had no destiny, I had no sense of control over my life. But what was that one thing that I could control? What went into my mouth? The irony is that I lost that control over time. Orthorexia led to chewing and spitting, to binge eating. If you don't know my whole story, I just made a video about that a few weeks ago. You can go watch that. But don't watch it right now. Watch this video.
I became hyper aware of how I looked.
I'm really glad that when I was Josh's age, I'm kind of dating myself here, there was no social media, there was no Instagram, there was no Reddit, there was no social media or smartphones. When I was 18, 20, even when I was in college, none of that really existed. Even without social media, I saw other media, magazines, websites, and I knew what that ideal, like, male physique was supposed to be. You know, the broad shoulders, the V-taper, the six-pack abs, all of it. Josh is clearly younger than I am, and he was exposed to thousands upon thousands of images on his smartphone or on his laptop, showing him pictures of men with incredible physiques. This clearly made an impression on him, and when you're at that age, you are very impressionable. And I've pointed this out in previous videos, is when you are that age, you don't have filters. You don't know how to vet information. You don't know how to distinguish between, photoshopped images or like edited images, curated images, and reality. And today, technology makes it so easy to lie about the way you look. But my point is, when you are that age and you are insecure and you don't have good body image and you don't have any destiny or any purpose, no sense of control over your life, what do you look to? Diet, exercise, food.
I remember seeing a series of images which changed everything.
And when you're at that age, 16, 17, 18, in fact, I think his story starts sooner. I think he was like 14. You start to become hyper aware of your body image, and more specifically, your own sexuality. He noticed that he was really skinny, he didn't have any shoulders, he didn't have any chest. So he went on social media and he started following all of these accounts and he said, I want a body like that. And I remember saying that when I was like 21, 22, I would see these guys with like massive quads or big calves or big chests, and I think, I'm gonna look like that someday. I think a lot of men go through this phase. They want to look jacked. They see movies like Troy and 300 and Gladiator, and they see these amazing physiques, and like they want to look that way. But when you're that age, you don't know what's realistic, and you also don't know the amount of effort and work that went into creating that kind of body.
It was basically gym Facebook, but on each profile, you could see their age, stats, and how much they can lift. Every channel I watched on YouTube was now fitness-based.
Now it's a full-blown obsession. Everything is about fitness at this point. So he started with good intentions, I think. He wanted to become healthier, he wanted to get stronger, and now it's just a total obsession that is taking over his life. And I remember when I was at that point, 21, 22, 23, even like 24, 25, all I read about was fitness and training, and I would read like blogs and go to forums like you see in this video. And I would read all the magazines and I would spend all my money on that. It was just like the most important thing in my life was to be fit, lean, and fast. That's all I wanted to do. Unlike Josh, I didn't want to be jacked. I didn't want to have like that 300 type body, but I did want to be lean, and I didn't want to have a lot of fat, and I wanted to be fast, and I wanted to be athletic. But it became the number one thing in my life. And if I had to go back in time, I'm 35 now, heading towards 36. If I had to go back and talk to 22-year-old Kevin, I would say, this is not the most important thing right now. Right now, you should not be focused on hobbies. You should not be focused on your body. You should, take care of yourself. But you need to be focused on acquiring skills that you can monetize. Focus on your finances and your fitness, but don't let either become an obsession.
The more compliments and positive feedback I got, the more I was motivated to become more strict with my routine.
And the more compliments that he got, the stricter that he became. I've said this many times. Don't compliment people on their weight loss. It's their own business, and you don't know what they're doing to achieve that. Clearly, like in this case, the lengths that he was going to achieve that body, and the more compliments he got, the more compelled he was to become stricter and stricter and stricter with his diet.
I'd improve my routine a little more, or try the next fad.
How many foods can you possibly eliminate? At some point, you just don't eat anything anymore. Maybe kale and tuna and like olive oil, and that's it. Now, I'm a big fan of boring diets, simple diets. I think they work over the long term. They help stabilize your behavior, make it easy to maintain your weight, but not that boring, not that strict. I don't think anybody can follow that diet forever. If you want to eat beef, rice, and broccoli every day, 3 times a day for the rest of your life, go for it, but it's going to be really monotonous.
But then there were other days where I'd break and end up binge eating random things.
And predictably, like a Swiss train running on time, he started to binge. Like I said, how long can you sustain that strict of a diet? Well, apparently not that long, especially at that age. And he finally snapped and he started binging on random things. If you want to talk about random things, I've binged on things like an entire bottle of barbecue sauce, an entire can of whipped cream. I don't know what he was binging on, but I know what he means when he says random things. It's like whatever you can find, whatever's convenient. You're just like going through all your cabinets and your doors, looking for anything that you can put in your mouth.
My gym routine never felt enough, so I began adding weights to my school bag and wearing ankle weights around the house.
He was so obsessed that it was never enough. It was almost like earning money. He would earn 100,000, that wasn't enough. Then 1 million, that wasn't enough. Then 10 million, that wasn't enough. Then 100 million. At what point is it not enough anymore? And I think he was chasing something that he could never achieve. He was chasing contentment. Well, the thing is, he was never going to be content. And while it's natural to be discontent, to always be striving to do more, at some point you have to turn around and look at what you've accomplished on the way. He became stricter and stricter and stricter, and he tried to achieve more and more and more, but it was never enough. Kind of sounds like an addiction, doesn't it?
I'd frequently miss social events to avoid being around bad food.
Skipping social events, I'm not going to say too much about this. I've talked about this in previous videos and other eating disorder stories. This is just pretty typical. You're so strict, you're so scared of being around certain foods, you don't trust yourself anymore, and you're so dedicated to maintaining this really strict diet, this really strict lifestyle, that you end up not living at all. You end up sacrificing the most important thing, which is life. He had reduced his life to training, eating this really strict diet, and sleep. And that was really it. The point of health is that you can live. Like, life is the outcome, health is the medium. You don't want to be healthy just so you can sit in your room all day and never go anywhere and never be with other people. You be healthy so that you can do things that you want to do. You be healthy so that you can live life to its fullest.
The YouTubers I watched began eating food for the taste and then spitting it out, and I genuinely thought that was a good idea. And these unhealthy short-term habits.
Hey, chewing and spitting. Who else talks about chewing and spitting? I do. I have videos about that if you want to go check that out. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it is really tempting. It's like you get the flavor, but you don't get the calories. But here's the truth, you do get the calories. It's a trick. Don't fall for it. You will not get away with it. Don't start.
Despite always having shin splints, colds, sleep trouble, severe fatigue, and increasingly poor performance in all sports, I didn't see a problem. I just needed to push through it.
This is an example of ignoring the obvious signs. You've got to get feedback. And I think he was in this artificial world that he had created, and he wasn't getting good feedback. Nobody in his life was telling him, hey Josh, what are you doing here? He was ignoring the signs. That's what I did. I ignored the signs. I ignored the shin splints. I ignored the shivering. I ignored my low T levels. There were so many signs that were showing that I was not healthy, but I kept repeating the same behaviors over and over. Well, same thing with Josh. He refused to see the obvious signs. Why was he ignoring the obvious signs? Because he wanted to keep doing it. He was so obsessed with this goal that he had. He was so obsessed with this physique and this diet.
The worst thing was, I was seen as healthy, and it's extremely hard to change anything, because it literally felt like part of my identity. Even my general doctor said I was healthy.
And when it becomes a part of your identity, it's really hard to stop too. Like, this had become his life. You know, he was known for training. He was known for this strict diet. How do you break out of that? When everybody knows you for this one thing, how do you escape? It's really hard because he had invested so much in this. It's like being known for being really petite and thin and then gaining a lot of weight. That is one thing I'll give Stephanie Buttermore credit for, is that she was really lean. She probably got a lot of compliments for it, and a lot of people probably watch her for that, and then she deliberately gained the weight. I will give her credit for that. When your identity is connected to your physique, to your body image, but you're not healthy, what do? The easy answer is put health first. But when it's your lifestyle, it's really hard to do that.
You have to understand, I was quite young, had a lack of self-awareness, and developed an eating disorder known as orthorexia, which is essentially an unhealthy obsession with health.
I think a lot of young people are susceptible to this kind of behavior. Why? For the reasons I just said before. Lack of purpose, isolation, poor body image, insecurity, immaturity, inability to filter information. You're really impressionable at that age. Is there anything we can do about that? Is there anything that we can do to protect the youth from orthorexia?
The fact that the dose always makes the poison, and even water, the most essential component to life, will kill you at a high enough dose.
The poison is always in the dosage. And I think this is Jeff Nippard talking about water here. Yeah, you can use water as a form of torture. Medications, you can overdose on medications. You can overdose on anything. It's just like sugar. Is the 10 grams of sugar in that banana gonna kill you? No, but if you drank a liter of Pepsi every day for 10 years, that would add up, wouldn't it? So it's the dosage, it's how you use it. It's like social media, it's like any tool. How do you use it? That's what really matters. Don't blame the tool, don't blame the food, don't blame the drug. Blame the way that you use it. As I've said before, no one food is the problem. The behavior is always the problem. I'm so sick of headlines and articles about this, never eat these foods, and dietitians never eat these foods. It's just so clickbaity, and it's just silly and stupid. Really? You should never eat these foods? Never, ever? Never shall that food pass your lips? It's something that you would read when you're bored and you're on MSN or one of these news aggregator websites, and it says dietitians reveal the 5 foods you should never eat. Like, who can't click that? The truth is, there's no food that you should never eat. There are some foods that you should eat more often. There are foods that you should eat less often. It's a very black and white way of seeing things.
I tried a range of diets, thinking this next one will be superior, as the people promoting them would often claim. But the thing is, there's no one superior diet.
And eventually he tried every diet because that really strict diet apparently wasn't working for him, shocking. So he probably did this diet and that diet. And again, it's very addictive in a way. Like, there's always promise that this diet is gonna solve all your problems. No, this diet didn't work. No, this one is the one. No, this one is the one. No, this one. It's this constant cycle of hope and despair, hope and despair. Maybe this diet will solve all my problems. No, the problem wasn't the diet. The problem was his belief set. The problem was his priorities. The problem was his immaturity.
Nobody cares about your single-digit body fat outside of competitive bodybuilding.
There's no reason to have single-digit body fat unless you're getting paid to. If you're a professional basketball player and you have to maintain 7% body fat, just to get into training camp, which I think is like standard among most NBA teams, then yeah, you should be 7% body fat, because if you're not going to make several $1,000,000 a year playing basketball. But if that's not at stake, then you don't need to be single-digit body fat. And the truth is, nobody's going to care about your body fat. Employers don't care, your customers don't care, your subscribers or followers don't really care. Your potential spouse is probably not going to care. Now, if you're 25, 30%, I'm speaking to men here. If you're 25, 30%, that's obviously going to show. But the difference between 12% and like 7 or 8% doesn't make that big of a difference. You're not going to live longer, you're not going to be healthier, and you're just going to be wasting a lot of time so you can get that number just a little bit lower. It's not wrong to achieve a certain body fat percentage. You just have to ask yourself, at what cost?
The mainstream glorification of insanely unattainable physiques is to blame for this common oversight. But to me personally, what's more of a problem is that these issues don't get spoken about enough on the male side.
Can we blame social media platforms for this? I don't think so. And the reason why is because social media is a tool. That's all it is. They create a platform where we can share information. It is up to us to use it appropriately. It's like blaming drug manufacturers for your inability to use it appropriately. It's like an alcoholic blaming beer manufacturers. No, it's not the beer and liquor manufacturers. It's the way you use it. So learn to use social media appropriately. If your social media usage is causing you to behave and think in certain ways, you might need to take a break. Follow different accounts. Don't follow certain accounts. Don't look at certain images. Easier said than done, I know, but we have technology and tools to help you stay focused, to help you stay away from that kind of content. It's kind of like pornography. Pornography is not good for you, okay? Bottom line up front, it's not good for you. How do you avoid it? You can block it. You don't have to buy it. Whatever you have to do. But if you're binging on that kind of material, don't blame the producer of that kind of material. If you're binging on cookies and potato chips, don't blame the manufacturers of the cookies and the potato chips. The problem is your inability to eat them in reasonable quantities. Josh said that part of the reason he made this video is because there's not a lot of content about male orthorexia. That's a subjective claim. Maybe that's true. I mean, I've made videos about it. And yes, when it comes to this kind of behavior, we often see more content that's related to women. But from my perspective, the psychology is the same. Orthorexia for women, orthorexia for men, it's the same. The decision to do it, the motives behind it, the obsession, and then ultimately the solution. And let's talk about solutions here. What is the solution to this?
I thought how you looked and how others perceived you was way more important than it was.
You have to ask yourself what it is that you really want. Do you want to be healthy? Do you want health? Do you want vitality? Do you want to live life to its fullest? Yes? Then don't be orthorexic. Because when you are orthorexic, you reduce life to what you eat. That becomes the most important thing in your life. But the reason why you eat healthy is not to eat healthy. You eat healthy so that you can do the things that you want to do. Don't be healthy for the sake of being healthy. Be healthy because it gives you opportunities to participate in life. Is there anything that we can do to prevent this? I don't think so. Teenagers and young adults are going to be teenagers and young adults. Their brains have not fully developed. Again, they don't have filters. Okay, they could have purpose in life, they could have a great career, they could be going to a great school, they could have lots of friends and still develop this kind of behavior. Unfortunately, and this is especially true for men, the brain takes a long time to develop. My brain didn't stop developing until I was about 29 or 30. Don't ask me how I know that, just trust me, I know that. 29 or 30 years old. There's a reason why this behavior started when I was 20 or 21. I was bold. I was able to take risks. I was impressionable. I was open to new ideas. There's a lot of reasons why this behavior starts between the ages of 15 and 22. In fact, most addictions start between that age. That doesn't mean that you can't start this kind of behavior later in life, but it usually doesn't work that way. Another thing that I don't think Josh really talked about was sexuality. And I made a video a few months ago about my unpopular opinions on eating disorders, and one of them was about the role of sexuality. And we need to talk about sexuality, because I think one of the main reasons why Josh decided to change his diet, and why I decided to change my diet, was to increase my perceived sexual value. He didn't want to have ripped abs and broad shoulders. He wanted the attention that that would get, and specifically the attention from other women that that would bring him. Listen, I don't know Josh personally. Okay, I've never spoken to him. but his brain is like my brain, okay? He's a male, I'm a male. I think a big motive when a lot of people try to get fit and they change their diet is to increase their sexual attraction. Am I wrong about this? Prove me wrong. Write in the comments below. But he said it himself, he became hyper aware of how he looked. But he probably became hyper aware of his sexuality too. And he knew that if he had a certain physique, he could get more attention from the ladies than if he was really skinny. Fortunately, orthorexia is not lethal. Like, it usually doesn't lead to death, and it resolves itself over time. I think coaching can help. I think if you are dealing with this kind of behavior in your teens, early 20s, even mid 20s, I think speaking to somebody who has dealt with this and who is older than you, kind of like me, can be really beneficial. If you don't have mentors in your life, if you don't have wiser people in your life, if the only people in your social circle are into fitness and eating right and eating these strict diets, that's really going to hurt you. You need somebody who's outside of that circle. You need somebody to keep you accountable and to call you out. You need somebody to show you the obvious signs. What's not obvious to you can be really obvious to other people. I don't know who edited this video. Josh, let me know who edited your video. I want to know. But the editing was really good. I mean, the music and the graphics was like, wow, it was way better than the editing on my videos. I don't have the time, the patience, or the skill to edit like that. What do you think about Josh's video? And what do you think about my opinions on his video? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them and I'll see you there.